In Japan, it is believed that the earth and its natural elements form an eternal bond with mankind. Japanese culture worships this order of nature and the higher being responsible for that union. This legacy remains at the heart of Japanese culture. Two-time Olympic champion Katarina Witt represents figure skating's rich tradition. She has come to Tokyo and the Japan Open to help pass her legacy to the next generation. Hers is the standard by which all others will be forever measured. Beginning tonight, world champion Michelle Kwan hopes to become the next standard bearer for ladies figure skating. World champion Todd Eldredge finally reached international fame with his victory last year. Only Olympic gold will help provide the platform for his legacy to the sport. World champions Marina Yeltsova and Andrei Bushkov continue a tradition of pairs dominance from Russia. Only Oksana Gritchuk and Yevgeny Platov have won Olympic gold among the current world champions. Their legacy continues in ice dancing. Japan, in all of its beauty, still contains many mysteries. All of the skaters who've come to this faraway land will learn something about themselves. We're in the heart of Tokyo, Japan tonight, and this is Yayogi Stadium. It served as one of the Olympic venues when the Summer Games were held in this city in 1964. That's when swimming and diving were held here. Tonight, it's the site of the Figure Skating Japan Open. Good evening, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist. Welcome to Tokyo and welcome to the Japan Open. A really extraordinary event that will feature both those who are eligible to compete in the Olympics as well as professional skaters. We come to you tonight with a short program or technical program, and then on Tuesday night back with the long or the interpretive program, and we will have competition in all four disciplines: ladies and men's, pairs, and ice dance. I'm joined as always by Olympic silver medalist Peter Carruthers. Peter, a great crowd here in Tokyo and an extraordinary field.
It really is a top field of skaters, and what's interesting is that all of the current world champions are here to compete in every discipline that we'll see in this competition, and quite a battle shaping up in the men's competition. Defending world champion Todd Eldredge, he's been solid this year. He's won 2 international competitions. He's confident and skating very well, but nipping at his heels is Ilya Kulik, second behind him at the World Championships. He was great in practice jumping. He's got choreography, great footwork. He can put it together, so good competition in the men.
And a wonderful field for the ladies event as well, highlighted by the presence of the world champion Michelle Kwan.
Well, Michelle Kwan, I smile every time I say her name. When she takes the ice, there is beauty, there's technical perfection, there's confidence. She has it all. She's doing everything she should to be a great ladies world champion. And go back for a minute to 1994 when Yuka Sato won the world championship in front of her countrymen. She's here competing again in front of her countrymen. So, Vern, you said it best: when it's the eligibles coming together with the professionals. Interesting.
Well, Peter, because it is an open event, it's a combination of the old and the new. And one of those who's on that end of the spectrum, we might call her the grande dame of figure skating, two-time Olympic gold medalist Katarina Witt. And she is with our colleague, Christine Brennan.
Thanks, Vern. In 1985, the World Figure Skating Championships were here in this building, and Katarina Witt won her second of her 4 world titles. Here she is, back again after 12 years. Do you have any favorite memories of this place?
Well, thanks for reminding me that I'm 12 years older now. But I do have good memories. Most of my amateur competitions, I skated well, and I won the Worlds, and I had a great short program. It was a Spanish program, and the long program, I think, went really well, too.
Now, back in the mid and late 80s, you were seen as the competitor's competitor. Debbie Thomas, one of your great rivals, said you could not beat this woman. No matter what she tried to do, you would one-up her. Do you still have that same competitive fire?
You know, I still have competitive fire, especially when you go out there and do a competition like this. But it definitely has changed. You know, it's kind of hard to compete against the others who are now almost like 13, 14 years younger than I am. So I try to go out there and give my best, try to do my jumps, and try to give my best artistic impression, and I'll just have to take it from there. But the nervousness is still there, always the same.
The order of skating determined by random draw, and first on the ice, the current gold medalist in pairs from St. Petersburg, 26-year-old Marina Yeltsova and her 27-year-old partner Andrei Bushkov, and they will skate to a tune first made popular in the 50s by Tennessee Ernie Ford. Here is 16 Tons.
You'll see 8 required elements in this program, and they will open up with very difficult side-by-side triple toe loops. Right on. The split double twist lift, a very nice set down, delicate and in control.
Because of the great tradition of Olympic pairs from Russia over the past 3 or 4 decades, Yeltsova and Bushkov have yet to appear in Olympic Games. Their path to Nagano next February seems fairly clear now, though.
Very strong at this point.
Would you make them the favorites, do you think, Peter?
Absolutely not at this point. It's anybody's game. With Jenny Mino and Todd Sand skating very well, they're definitely in the equation. And the new team of Bereshnaya and Zihirulidze, coached by Tamara Moskvina, so it's anybody's game. And so far, they are just really hitting all of these elements. This is strong.
Peter mentioned Tamara Moskvina. Up until 1995, Yeltsova and Bushkov were coached by her husband, Igor Moskvin. And then in the summer of 95, decided to go in a different direction, and their coach now is Natalia Pavlova.
Not aerobically difficult, this spin, but it takes so much practice to get the timing and the quick changes of position. Nice job.
Short program complete for the gold medalists in pairs, Marina Yeltsova, Andrei Bushkov.
These side-by-side triple toe loops were terrific. Good unison in the air, the landings, 1 foot, just what you want.
Required elements, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7.
And now the set of marks for required elements, Peter.
And they were just great required elements. No mistakes and well done. 5-7s across the board.
5-7, 5-7.
Now the presentation scores even a 5-8 from the Russian judge. Does that surprise you?
Yeltsova and Bushkov lead it off. We'll be back with the United States national champions Jenny Mino and Todd Sand after these messages. During the day in Tokyo, the Sensoji Temple attracts its Buddhist faithful by the thousands. For over 3 centuries, it has remained one of the main religious sites in Japan. Back in the early part of December, Jenny Mino and Todd Sand came to Japan to compete in the NHK Championship in Osaka. They won that event. Now back for the Japan Open. 3 times the U.S. national champion with a problem with something on the ice. Lovely Jenny Mino and her husband of a year and a half, Todd Sand. And for their short program tonight, they're going to interpret the music of Chopin, Fantasy Impromptu.
And what they want more than anything in this short program is to land the difficult side-by-side triple toe loops. This is new this year for them. Here they are. All right, not as good as I've seen them do, but no major deduction there. A little touchdown for Todd. performed this move very well, the split double twist lift. Very relaxed and skating a lot faster this year, Vern, due to their move up to Lake Arrowhead, California, where they train also with 10-time world champion Irina Rodvanina.
Their season has been marred by injuries, has it not, Peter?
Absolutely. Jenny broke her wrist, Todd sprained his, and that makes it difficult in pair skating because of all the lifting that's required, but they were able to work through it with a lot of work on the floor.
Now, I would think that that victory here in Japan in December meant an awful lot to them.
It certainly did, and good unison on these spins. Star lift to one hand, half twist dismount. A very nice stretch out on the death spiral.
Three times the United States national champions. They will defend that title in Nashville later this week as you watch this event. Jenny Mino and Todd Sand.
And Vern, they really have skated well. They should be happy with that. Those triple toe loops are so difficult to do. They know they had to add them if they want to get on that podium at the World Championships and the Olympic Games. A personal triumph for them. Just one small touchdown, which may show up as a 1/10 deduction for Todd on the triple toe loop, but nothing major. And right here you'll see Todd. Jenny does a fine triple toe loop, but I have to point to Todd because he'll put his hand down right there, and the judges obviously will see that and probably take about a 10th off.
The marks for
And great height on this split double twist lift, and a nice smile to go with it.
And now the first set of marks, these four required elements.
And we can clearly see that the Japanese judge, the Russian judge, they have definitely seen the mistake, and that reflects in the score.
And the marks for presentation.
5-7, 5-8, 5-9. If Todd hadn't touched his hand down, I think they would have been in first place.
As it is, they trail Yeltsova and Bushkov, and we'll be back with the other American pair right after this. Next on the ice, the American silver medalists each of the last 3 years, Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon. And they will skate to music from a Japanese drum band. This is called The Best of Kodo.
When I watch these two, I think of very powerful skating. They build up a lot of speed on this split double twist lift. Nicely done. This is the spiral sequence. One partner has to be in an arabesque position throughout the footwork in order for it to be legal. Here are the triple toe loops. Nice.
In a sense, Kyoko Ina has come back home. She was born in Tokyo, and her family moved to the United States when she was 1 year old. But she came back here and competed for Japan for a couple of years in the 80s. As a matter of fact, She was the Japanese junior champion in singles in 1987. Then decided to forego any aspirations of a career here, and she's been a pair skater with Dungeon since '91.
Star lift. This lift is great because they actually change position in the air, and she rolls onto another hip. That's very difficult.
Now, many thought a year ago that they might have won the pairs title in the U.S. So they'll be in Nashville later this week and give Mino and Sand a good tussle for the championship. Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon, Olympians and three-time silver medalists.
They skated pretty well, a little bit conservative. I think the jet lag may have caught up with them a bit, but they performed the elements well. The only thing that was missing for me a little bit was the speed. Usually I see them attack a little bit more, but you can't complain about that performance. Good job. In pair skating, side-by-side spins are very important, and judges are looking for unison. There they got off just a little bit, but there's really no deduction because look how good they are right here.
Now the first set of scores, these for required elements.
Again, all very close, only 1/10 of a difference. Not the scores we have seen from the other skaters. Obviously, they are behind at this point. In the presentation scores, 5-6s across the board.
Only three pairs competing here in the Japan Open, so the standings after the short program. The world champions Yeltsova and Bushkov are in first place. Jenny Mino and Todd Sand of the United States are second. And Kyoko Ina and Jason Dungeon of the United States are third. When we return to Tokyo, the men's short program at the Japan Open, we'll have current world champion Todd Eldridge and the man who stood second on the podium last year, Ilya Kulik. Welcome back to Yayogi Stadium in Tokyo, side of the Japan Open, and we're ready for the men's short program and a loaded field highlighted by the current world champion Todd Eldridge. Peter,
he has been skating so well, won 2 international competitions this year. That just shows you he's not ready to let down at all. He has been terrific. What I like about him is he's a very relaxed world champion, ready for it.
And he is being chased by a young man from Moscow who now lives in Marlborough, Massachusetts, only 19 years of age, Ilya Kulik.
Well, Kulik has really caught the attention of not only the international judges, but people all over the world because he is able to get up in the air, turn the jumps, have great rotation, and he combines that with great artistry and a lot of footwork. That's what makes his skating so difficult, is the fact that he adds tough footwork, and that takes a lot of endurance and talent to do both.
These two men, the one born in Massachusetts who now lives in Michigan, the other born in Moscow who now lives in Massachusetts, they stood 1 and 2 on the podium at the Worlds last year, and they have enormous respect for each other.
I wish, I guess I wish my jumps could be as effortless as his. I mean, he just, you watch him and everything looks like it's so natural and it comes so easy for him. You know, and I mean, it's amazing to watch. I mean, knowing, you know, what, obviously it's probably not that easy for him, but, you know, to watch him, to know how it feels to do these things, and then to watch him do them, he just makes it look so easy.
I admire him. He's a good skater, and especially admire his jumps, that he's doing his jumps all the time, you know. It's really good. It's really good that he's very stable. So in the practices and in the competition, he's doing his jumps all the time. And even maybe his takeoff not good all the time, but he's landing the jumps. Sometimes it's a problem for me. So I admire him from this side. He's really strong.
Again, the men are skating by virtue of a random draw, and by virtue of that draw, first out of the chute, the current world champion. He won the event in Edmonton last year, and he wears the crown quite well. Now, 25 years of age. Here is Todd Eldridge and the music from the 50s. It's called Walk on the Wild Side.
Todd's performed this short program very well this year. He's just so trained that he's able to go into the jumps and really attack them in a very relaxed way. Doesn't waste any energy. And this is awesome right here. The triple axel, triple toe. Oh, a major mistake for him there. Turning out of the triple axel. That's a big deduction.
Now that has been almost automatic for him this season.
And that could be up to 4/10 of a point deduction. Uncharacteristic of him.
You're watching this competition on a Sunday night, of course. The week that the national championships get underway in Nashville. The event held in Tokyo, first week in January.
Oh, really struggling here on the jumps. I'm really surprised because he's usually so much in the zone and he's able to pull them off.
You know, he was here for the NHK back in December and had to withdraw from that competition because of an ankle injury, Peter. I chatted with him an hour before the event began. He said there was no lingering effect. He wasn't worried about the ankle. I wonder if it could be bothering him at all.
It's hard to say because in practice he was pretty good yesterday. But again, if you're not on top of your blade when you do these jumps, anything can happen, and it has. Double axel. Well, Vern, everybody has a bad day, and Todd Eldridge has not done what he is capable of doing in the short program. Here's a look at that combination. The triple axel attempt, he didn't even complete the rotation. The big problem is that he wasn't able to get the combination off the second jump, and that's going to be a big deduction on the first mark. And the triple Lutz, watch him lean forward right here, almost touching down, but not quite. He's usually much better than that.
And now the first set of marks, and these are for required elements, and ouch.
Wow, they have really taken some major deductions here on the jumps, down to 4.9. He hasn't seen marks like that in a long time. The presentation marks, of course, they're all solid. Remember, this is the short program. The judges were looking at those required elements.
Next on the ice, he's only 15 years of age, but he is the current Japanese men's champion. Here from Sendai City, Japan, is Takeshi Honda. And the music is that of a Spanish flavor, Tico Tico.
His first jump, the triple axel, triple toe loop. Guess what, folks? He's in the hunt. For now, I just wonder that he can keep up this pace.
Well, the biographical material we were given, Takashi said his best jump was the triple axel. Now we understand.
But he pulls off the triple Lutz.
He had a busy 1996. He not only won his national championship here, he finished with the silver medal at the World Juniors to Alexei Yayogi of Russia. And he competed in Edmonton in the Worlds. He was a top 15 finisher, 13th place.
Double axel. Just skating right through these elements. Guess what, Vern? This man...
Now I give you an interesting dilemma.
This man, I think, has just upset the world champion in the short program.
Do the judges give a 15-year-old kid from Tokyo a higher ranking than the current world champion?
But that's figure skating for you. You got to go out there and deliver the elements no matter who you are. The door was open. He took advantage of the opportunity, skated well, and what a great time to do it. Well, where Todd Eldridge had problems, Takeshi Honda was able to really pick up the ball and run with it. Right here, this triple axel, triple toe loop, outstanding, an awesome jump for him. And then following it up with this great triple Lutz jump, showing that he kept the concentration and focus that he needed to hit these jumps.
And the first set of marks now for Takeshi Honda.
Very solid marks for him. Remember, you said at 15 years old, not much experience, but he did what he had to. He delivered the goods in the short program. 5.5, 5.7, 5.5, 5.6, 5.3, and the presentation scores. Look at that, a 5.8 from the French judge. Good for him. 5.3 from the U.S. judge. I'm a little surprised at that. Should have been higher.
Just a terrific performance for the 15-year-old Japanese champion, Takeshi Honda. Will be back in Tokyo after this.
The old can be found with the new in the heart of Tokyo at the Meiji Temple. As worshipers walk through the sacred gates of this ancient shrine, a giant television screen reminds them of the sights they will see, along with the occasional advertisement for a favorite soft drink or perfume. Ah, progress. He arrived late for this competition. Matter of fact, Philippe Candeloro came straight in from the airport for practice last night and got in about 3 minutes worth. We'll see what the effect is now. The ever popular bronze medalist from the '94 Olympics, Philippe Candeloro. The music, the soundtrack from Mission Impossible.
You just don't know with Philippe. If he gets back into skating and really skates, he can be very charismatic on the ice. His opening combination, a difficult one. The triple axel. First one good, now the double toe loop. He's right on. momentum going on the jumps here. The triple Lutz. Flips out of the landing. That is, made a quick turn. Not what he wanted. Footwork section. The men have to show quick changes of direction. Edges. In a serpentine pattern across the ice or down the ice.
Candeloru's proudest moment in his career came when he stood on that podium in Lillehammer. He followed it up with a silver medal at the World Championships that were held in Chiba, Japan in 1994. Got a bronze the next year, but he's had an injury-filled and problem-plagued career since then, Peter.
Yes, he has, with choice of music in some cases, and the theme that he chooses. Last year he skated to Lucky Luke and nobody got it. We were all saying, what's going on with Philippe? But it looks like he's back on track somewhat here. Pretty good short program for him. And look at this Japanese audience throwing flowers on the ice. He really has a following here, Bird.
A deluge of flowers.
Wow.
The flowers are making more noise as they hit the ice than the crowd has been with its applause.
The triple axel, double toe loop right on. He started off very well with that element.
And now the marks for required elements.
5.3 up to 5.5. Not very strong marks, but look at the presentation marks. As high as 5.8.
But here's the shock. Candeloro is only second behind the 15-year-old Japanese kid, Takashi Honda, with Eldridge and Savabjic following. From Moscow, here is 19-year-old Ilya Kulik. He is portraying the devil. The music is Faust by Gounod.
What an opportunity for Kulik. His first big combo, the triple axel, triple toe loop burn. You just don't see him that good. That was amazing. Here, the triple Lutz. Brock solid. Finishing the rotation about a foot off the ice. That is terrific. How he just took off on that double axel out of nowhere. No effort. What an athlete.
Well, he will go into the World Championships in Lausanne, Switzerland in March with, among other credentials, that of the current Russian national champion. And a lot of people fancy his chances to stand atop the podium 13 months from now in Nagano. Eldridge, of course, another favorite, as is Elvis Stoico.
Well, if he keeps up this pace, he could be very well standing right in that top position here. The footwork across the ice, great. Look at the quick changes, the edges. That's difficult. Final element, the sit, change, sit. Ilya Kulik has just nailed this short program.
I don't think there will be much question as to who's going to sit atop when this one's over.
No, we're looking at 5/8 for required elements and maybe even 5/9 for presentation. That is just what the international judges want. That kind of a performance in the short program. Perfect. Take a look at this triple axel, so straight in the air, and then he finishes the rotation about a foot off the ice. That is tremendous.
His coach Tatiana Tarasova by his side, and the marks for required elements.
Well, I knew they couldn't ignore the excellence in Ilya Kulik's skating, both technically and from an artistic presentation point of view. This is outstanding. Very deserved marks.
First place ordinal from all 5 judges and a nice hand from this huge crowd. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to the Japan Open in Tokyo. The final skater in the men's singles on the ice now. A medalist here in 1985. Twice a silver medalist in the Olympics, now 35 years of age, Brian Orser. Music is Swing, Swing, Swing.
Brian's been spending a lot of time off the ice training, working out in the gym to get his physical condition up to the level that it needs to be at to compete in these tough short programs. Oh my, he's going for it. He's going for the triple axel. Oh!
I saw him try that at the Canadian Professional Championships in Ottawa back in December. He was a little closer to getting it this time. It's coming.
Boy, you have to admire the guts to try that. For Brian, don't forget, he's fairly removed from Olympic eligible skating, and to attempt such a difficult jump, that's to his credit. But unfortunately, that will show up in about a 4/10 deduction.
You know what, Peter, though? He's back in fighting shape, isn't he? He looks good now. Lost a considerable amount of weight and seems to be in terrific physical condition.
You're right, Vern. He's got quick feet once again, skating with good speed. Nice double axel right there.
Eight times a Canadian champion, twice an Olympic silver medalist, 4 times a runner-up in the world and a world champion, and really one of the most popular guys in the circuit. Here is Brian Orser.
You just said it, Vern. He's done so much for the sport. He's so well liked by all of us in the skating world, and you just want to see Brian Orser go out there and skate well. But unfortunately for him on the triple axel, here's a look at it. Doesn't get the rotation. You can see right there. He's got about a quarter turn more to go, and when that happens, the blade just stops and you go down. But showing a lot of agility here on the footwork, all part of the required elements in the short program.
And now the marks for required elements for Brian Orser.
5-0,
Unfortunately for him, not getting the triple axel off and falling on the combination. This is a reflection of that, but good presentation scores.
So the standings after the men's short program, Ilya Kulik was flawless, and he is alone at the top. The 15-year-old Japanese champion Takeshi Honda is in second. That's the surprise, followed by Philippe Candeloro. The world champion Todd Eldridge is fourth, Brian Orser fifth, and Joseph Sababczyk is sixth. And right now, let's check in with Christine Brennan.
I'm here with Ilya Kulik. Wow, what a triple axel. Is that one of the best ones you've done?
No, it wasn't the best one. It's just normal triple axel and triple toe. So I'm doing this every day.
In other words, you can do better?
Sometimes, yeah, I can do better.
Are you surprised, Ilya, to be in first place? Some other interesting things happened in this short program.
Actually, I'm not surprised also because I thought if I do it clean, I'll be first. So if my concurrent like Todd Eldridge fall or anything, I wasn't surprised. I thought I'll be first if I'll do clean.
Okay, thank you very much. Good luck in the long.
All right, Christine, the Olympic Winter Games were held in Japan in Sapporo in 1972. They returned to Japan to Nagano in 1998. That story when we come back.
Welcome back to Tokyo, where the Ginza represents the commercial center of the city. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Peter Carruthers, and we are at the Japan Open. Before the competition here continues, let's take a brief look at Nagano, the host city for the 18th Winter Olympics. In Nagano, the people refer to the 1998 Olympics as Games from the Heart. The city lies about 2 hours northwest of Tokyo in the Japanese Alps. Here's Christine Brennan with more.
In a land of tradition, a faithful, resourceful people prepare an ancient city for a golden moment. Shadowed by the mountains it reveres and protects, Nagano and its people enjoy a winter of anticipation and the dawning of an Olympic Games that will bring together a land and its people in the ultimate festival of the human spirit. Life in this city of 300,000, nestled beside the Japanese Alps, radiates from a simple place, its temple. The Zenkoji Temple is a source of strength and peace for the people who go there to renew their belief that living things will someday merge with nature. But ancient Japan lives on in other ways. In the outskirts of Nagano, Matsushiro once was a castle town built during the era of the shoguns. It's through these landmarks that the Japanese remember their roots. As Nagano prepares for the final Olympic Games of the 20th century, it also has not forgotten its debt to nature. Even as glistening new sports venues dot the landscape, they were designed not as monuments to technology or innovation, but as a celebration of land and sea. Figure skating and short track speed skating, for instance, will be held in White Ring, with its sloping roof resembling the shape of a water droplet. Capacity is 7,000. The prestigious NHK Trophy figure skating competition will be held there in November as a test event. Not everyone is thrilled with the new arena. One reluctant apple farmer refused to give up his land, and Olympic planners had to build around his tiny orchard. One of the world's newest and largest covered rinks is M-Wave, where speed skating will take place. On the outside, the roof looks like the waves of the oceans surrounding Japan. On the inside, the silent blue ice is a training ground for Olympic hopefuls, including a couple of 1994 Olympians, giving it one more try for 1998. Will there be hat tricks in the big hat? Absolutely, as the new Olympic hockey venue welcomes the stars of the National Hockey League and the inaugural women's competition. 1 hour away from Nagano lies an area called Hakuba, which will be the site of 3 additional venues. Kamashiro is where cross-country will take place. 2.6 million skiers come to this tiny village every year to challenge the Japan Alps. Is it any wonder then that these same slopes will host the greatest skiers of the world at the Olympics? The men's and women's downhill will be run here on what the Japanese call the roof of Japan. From that roof, Olympic athletes fall to earth at the Happo ski jumping stadium. In keeping with nature, when 5,000 trees were cut down to build the ski jump, school children planted 10,000 in their place. And when the competition is over and the day is done, the athletes of the world will return to the Olympic Village. 3,000 athletes and officials eventually will be housed there. The opening and closing ceremonies will be held at an Olympic stadium built like a flower. 50,000 people will be inside, and around them, concrete walls open toward the sky like petals. Hence the theme of the 1998 Games, from around the world to flower as one. This, in a sense, also is Nagano's goal, to merge youth with age, the new with the old. Since the 7th century, the Zenkoji Temple has been a gathering place for thousands of visitors every year. They have come to pray in one of the most unique temples in all of Japan, one that belongs to no particular Buddhist sect and one that never has closed its doors to women. That spirit of inclusion will draw thousands more to Nagano a year from now for another reason, the 1998 Olympic Winter Games. And just like the religious pilgrims, the athletes will come to Nagano to learn a little more about their world and a lot more about themselves.
Many future Olympians in the field here at the Japan Open. Among those expected to compete in Nagano, Michelle Kwan, the reigning world ladies champion, Todd Eldridge of the United States, the reigning men's champion, Arina Slutskaya. She stood on the podium at the World Championships a year ago. And of course, Grichuk and Platov won the Olympic gold medal in ice dance in 1994. They will be among those on the ice when we return to Tokyo after this. Grichuk and Platov, by virtue of the draw, will be second in the original dance, but first on the ice, and they've had some travel adventure getting here. From France, Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pézera. And the music is called Mr. Petrio.
This is the original dance, and it counts for 50% of the total score. And the original dance is kind of interesting. They have to choose a rhythm, whether it's a tango, quick step, paso doble. That is the skater's choice. And since they are different rhythms, what the judges compare them on, creativity, how they're interpreting the music, the originality.
Early on, they're showing a lot of energy and enthusiasm in this original dance, but if they tire, please understand, they were trapped by a snowstorm in their training center of Lyon, France, missed their flight by a day. They arrived after the flight from Paris to Tokyo this afternoon. So they have been on an airplane all night long, and they are here without benefit of a bed.
I'm just tired thinking about that. What makes this so difficult is the fact that they're changing dance holds all the time, interlocking legs on footwork, and quick changes of position. It is really kind of difficult aerobically to do that because there's so much activity going on, yet they look very smooth while they're doing it.
Marina Anasina and Gwendal Pézera. The original dance.
The rhythm they skated to, the tango, what goes along with it, a lot of very difficult changes of position, and yet you can really see the expression that they both have to have, and that really comes into the total picture of the tango.
5 judges and the first set of marks for composition, Peter.
The composition mark indicates how the dance was put together, the choreography.
And the marks for presentation.
And these go up a little bit. The expression falls under that, and they had exceptional expression in the presentation of this dance.
So Anasina and Pesara, with those marks, of course, occupy for the moment first place, but now they battle is joined by the current Olympic champions and world champions. Oksana Grichuk, Yevgeny Platov, fresh from a coaching change, as you heard, but also battling a very serious knee injury that he is trying to fight through. The music from Astor Piazzolla, Liber Tango.
And when it comes to drama, these two have every bit of that. And Vern, you mentioned earlier the coaching change, and that is a difficult thing for a team because they have to relocate, get used to a new skating rink, the people in it. But the coach they're being taught by now, Tarasova. And when you think about the history of Tarasova, she's coached some incredible skaters. Besmianova and Bukin, gold medalist. Imova Ponomarenko, gold medalist. And Moiseyeva and Manenkov, Olympic silver. So they're in good company.
There is more than just a coaching change going on here. If you don't recognize Oksana, she's only recently become a blonde.
Now right there, that's not particularly difficult to stand in one place and just make a position like that. Judges really want to see them moving quickly and changing directions, showing edges, as they're doing here. Now that is a disaster in ice dancing, to have a fall like that in the original dance. Still not over their feet after that fall. They have got to be very startled at that. As you can see, the mood broken by that fall. And right here, you can see the blades very close together. And if they touch at any moment, they are going to go down. Fortunately, in this section of the program, they were okay. But the trouble came later. And here it is. Watch as the 2 feet come together, and he slips backwards, falling down, almost pulling her with him. Very unfortunate.
Well, reputations do count in this sport. We'll see how costly it was for the Olympic medalists.
Wow, that is a pretty good gift right there from Finland, a 5'8" after that fall. I would have expected them more in the line with the Japanese judge of 5'4", and then of course the presentation 5'8". That is interesting.
So, 4 of the 5 judges do give Grichuk and Platov the first place ordinal. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Tokyo, the Japan Open, and next on the ice from Finland, the married couple of Susanna Rakamo and Petri Koko. The music from a French movie composed by Claude Bolling. Here is Borsellino.
And their choice of rhythm, a quick step. And that's just what you'll see, a lot of quick steps. And the objective here is to really let the lower body do all the work and remain pretty much silent with the upper body as far as the movement is concerned.
This effervescent couple spent last season touring the United States. They appeared in more than 100 cities in both the United States and Canada. And this year they've stayed closer to home near Helsinki. They live and train in Oberstdorf, Germany as well. Always likable. Susanna Rakimo, Petri Coco.
Well, they skated that well. No mistakes. And considering what happened to Grischuk and Platov, definitely a step above. Ice dancing is all about getting down on your knees. I was talking about keeping the upper body still while the lower body does all the work, and here's a perfect example of that. Great control within their skating.
And now the marks for Petri and Susanna. First for composition.
Well, they were very solid. The composition was very good. From 5'5" to 5'8", all strong. But the presentation, strong again. But what's this? The Russian judge at 5'5", they actually have them in third place. Hello.
3 of the 5 judges give Petri and Susanna the first place ordinal, however. Grischuk and Platov are second. Anasina and Pesara are third. And now the two-time United States national champions back in the professional ranks now after a foray into the amateur world. Here's Renee Roca and her partner, Gorsha Sur.
And again, another quick step. Their choice of music. And even though we're seeing different steps from these two to Rakimo and Coco, the same rhythm, but really, again, the same kind of thing. A lot of footwork down below and a very controlled upper body throughout the dance. And Vern, it really surprises me actually to see the French team in third place when Grischuk and Platov really at this point should be down in third after that fall. Now they'll take this footwork right down the ice. A lot of stepping on the toes and then quick mohawks.
Nice dance. Renee Roca and Gorsha Sur. United States national dance champions in 1995 and 1993.
And with the quick step goes quick steps. And here they are, Mohawks. And a nice ending.
And now the marks for Roca and Serb.
Well, how do you justify those low scores after Grishuk and Platov fell down? I don't agree with this at all. In the presentation, a little bit better, but this has been kind of a strange event, the original dance.
So the standings after the original dance is complete. Susanna Rakamo and Petri Koko from Finland are first, followed by Grishuk and Platov in second, Anasina and Pesarov third, and Renee Roca and Gorsha Sur of the United States are fourth. When we return to Tokyo, the ladies' short program featuring current world champion Michelle Kwan and two-time Olympic gold medalist Katarina Witt. Back at the Japan Open in Tokyo, getting ready for the ladies' short program. The 6 who are entered in this field on the ice going through their warm-ups. Vern Lundquist along with Peter Carruthers. I look forward to this, Pete. Just an outstanding field.
It is an outstanding field, and you have to begin with Michelle Kwan. She's the 16-year-old sensation, world champion with grace, style, and beauty, and she's got a long way to go. Nicole Bobek is back. She's coming off of a back injury. It's tough for her because the jumps have to come together, and to do that, you need strong back muscles. And Surya Bonali, after tearing her Achilles tendon, amazing that she's even on the ice jumping. But what I want to see is how Katarina Witt and Yuka Sato compare to these Olympic eligibles, because they have to hit the required elements. They're not used to the pressure, but they've got the experience. Can't wait to see what happens.
Well, this is really a significant moment for Yuka Sato. She won a world championship here in her native land in 1994. She spends a lot of her time in the United States now, but she goes back and forth almost monthly, and she talked with us about what it's like to be coming home.
Coming back to Japan for the competition here in Tokyo, where I'm originally from, is really special for me. Sometimes it's hard for me to adjust. When I come back to Japan, it's going to be a totally different country, the culture difference and everything. That means people, even you see the same thing, but people feel the different way. And I just have to get used to it immediately. But sometimes more I spend time in United States, because figure skating in Japan is not as popular like in United States, so sometimes I find that's hard for me to deal with. It's a little thing, but it's hard.
Yuka first learned to skate from her parents, Kamiko and Nobuo. Until she moved to the United States, she spent many hours on the ice under the watchful gaze of Mom and Dad, both former champions in Japan.
I don't work every single day with them anymore, but parents are really always, as everyone knows, that all the parents are tough and sometimes hard to deal with, because they want to know why I did this, why I do that. People who's not really seeing the process every day, what's going on with my life or with how I'm skating, a lot of things around me with the busy schedule and everything. But people just take a result, and if you don't skate well, you always wonder. You know, there's no excuses. So my parents, since I don't work with them consistently, they always look for the result, look at me and what's going on, why did you miss this, why are you like this right now? And sometimes I can't answer. It's really hard for me to tell my parents that why I'm making mistakes or why I'm skating well. It's really hard.
And by virtue of the draw, Yuka Sato will be the first on the ice for the short program, no matter how many times she makes this round trip from New York to Tokyo and back. She says she fights jet lag, and she's fighting it today. She had 3 hours of sleep last night. So here is a tired but beautiful Yuka Sato, the music, The Merry Widow.
When you watch her skate, you notice the flow that she has across the ice. The quality in her edges, outstanding, but she wants the jumps. Here, the triple loop. What a start. No jet lag there, and a beautiful double toe loop following it up.
She is in Yokohama here in Japan. She lives with her mom and dad, both former skaters. Her dad serves as her coach here, her mom her choreographer. In the States, she's been under the tutelage of Leanne Miller, a new choreographer, and Leanne's done a wonderful job for her.
She really has brought out a wonderful style in Yuka. And Yuka really skates from the heart. When you watch her skate, you just start smiling because she really looks like she's enjoying herself, and that's the key to success in this sport. You gotta love what you do. Triple sow cow. No problem tucking that one away.
Yuka came off a fifth-place finish in Lillehammer. Nice double axel. And came home to the World Championships a month later in Chiba, Japan, which is midway between Tokyo and the Narita Airport. She won her first world title then. 5-4 in the ordinals over Surya Bonoli of France. And they are competing against each other today.
And she just skated a beautiful performance in this short program. Yuka Sato with a smile, all the required elements there, a very lyrical style as she just floats through the music. This is where it all started for Yuka. The triple loop, beautiful rotation. Look at the arm position, watch the landing. She's perfectly positioned to go right up into this double toe loop. Phenomenal.
And the first set of marks now, required elements for Yuka Sato.
5-6 and all 5-7s.
And the second set.
From 5-7 to 5-8. These are all very solid marks. A good start for her, but remember, she had to skate first. That's not the most desirable place to start in any competition.
Katarina Witt will skate second. She's on the ice when we come back.
Welcome back to the Japan Open. I'm Vern Lundquist along with Peter Carruthers and Christine Brennan. At the 1989 World Championships in Paris, 19-year-old Midori Ito made skating history. She became the first woman to complete a triple axel at the Worlds. The future knew no boundaries for this Madam Butterfly on ice. She had it all. But a mere 7 years later, at the 1996 Worlds in Edmonton, Midori was suffering from burnout. She had never lived up to her country's aspirations and hopes. Stress caused her to disappear from the sport. Here is Christine with more.
Joining me now is Mr. Hisanaga. He is a Japanese skating official. And what is wrong with Midori?
Well, it's a pity to hear that news that she made her own decision to discontinue to be a competitor, and due to the several reasons. But that decision was made when I was in the Seoul, Korea, to take part in the World Junior Championship. So I didn't have any time to have a consult with her.
What about her health? She's been in the hospital for a month. What's wrong?
She was supposed to compete in the Skate Canada, but when the date coming close, she said she's suffering from iron deficiency, anemia, and she said she has to be hospitalized.
Does she have an eating disorder as well?
In my opinion, the first disorder came from mental stress, and then due to the stress, she lost the appetite. Then that result in the iron deficiency. That's my observation.
Midori right now is at home. When do you think she will be back competing?
No, never.
Back at the Japan Open and on the ice, two-time Olympic gold medalist Katarina Witt. The music of George Winston. This is called Goodbye Montana.
If she can get these jumps taken care of in the beginning, the double axel right there, she'll be in good shape. This is the big one right here. The triple toe loop. Oh, too bad. Folding on the landing, falling down. Double flip. Now there's a problem because she's missed the combination. And that will be up to a 4/10 deduction.
The short program is a technical program with the 8 required elements. Not to belabor all of you with travel stories, but getting to and from Tokyo is not always the easiest thing. And Katarina had an interesting venture her own. She's playing, or she's skating to Goodbye Montana. She actually said goodbye to Idaho. She, with her mom and dad, spent the Christmas holidays in Sun Valley. Weather delayed her flight. She had to take a bus from Sun Valley to Boise, then a plane to Seattle, and finally here to Tokyo. The Grand Dame was not in a rested state of mind when she got here.
Gosh. Well, the pacing to the music, beautiful. But in this short program, I know she was looking for that combination, and it all fell apart on the triple toe loop. And the double axel was fine. She really started off very well with this jump. She was right over her center. That means perpendicular to the ice, just where a skater wants to be while they're rotating in the air on the jumps.
And now the marks for required elements, and they punished her for missing that combination.
Well, obviously so, 7/10. You see there was just too much of an error on the jumps, and that has to reflect in the first mark. But the presentation, you can tell she's a master at that. Unfortunately, the fall took its toll.
So Katerina falls into second behind Yuka Sato, and on the ice right now from Moscow, 17 years of age and the current bronze medalist. She stood on the podium in Edmonton last March, but also third in the recent Russian Nationals. So she's struggling a little bit. Here is Irina Slutskaya. The music, a piece called Phantom, composed and played by Roberto Danival.
Now, most of the time, Irina Slutskaya has a tremendous ability just to concentrate and focus on what she needs to do to get through the required elements. Here, the triple Lutz, double toe loop. Not her best, but complete. Triple loop. Wow, that was beautiful. Traveling on the spin, though, that means the skater actually moves off the center while they're rotating in the spin.
She kind of erupted on the world stage in 1996 when she won the gold medal at the European Championships and then followed up with that bronze. But as we said at the outset, it's been a struggle for her. That third place finish at the Russian Nationals behind Maria Butirskaya and Olga Markova was a bit of a surprise.
Absolutely.
And setback.
But this is terrific. The spin combination, the Bielman spin. Obvious flexibility.
Clean.
Yes, clean, you're right, but fairly conservative for me. She didn't really attack the short program.
We'll be back with her scores after this message. Back in Tokyo, and here are the scores for Irina Slutskaya, the required element score.
Yes, they're 5-7 to 5-8. These are all very strong scores. No deductions there.
And the presentation marks.
United States judge, 5.5. Actually, second from the U.S. judge, but she's in good shape right now.
Well, 3 of the 5 judges have placed Slutskaya in first place over Yuka Sato. Katarina Witt is currently third. And on the ice right now, a late addition to this event. Here is Surya Bonali. She's been battling problems with a ruptured Achilles in her right foot. And she will skate to a selection of pieces from Rossini.
And Vern, you know from all of your work in sports how devastating an Achilles tendon rupture is, and to think that she's out here performing these jumps, it's really incredible. For any athlete to come back from that injury, especially a sport where you have to jump, it requires so much stress on that tendon, and it begins right here with the triple toe loop, but triple toe loop, beautiful.
Well, she suffered the injury in an exhibition last May and has been hampered by it. to such an extent that even though she won the French title back in December, she was left off the team named for the European Championships. And this is a woman who is a 5-time European titleist.
And a fighter, to say the least.
I mentioned that Surya was a last-minute replacement. Denise Bielmann from Switzerland scheduled to appear. Had to withdraw, and Bonelli came in at the last minute. And she revisits a country where she finished with a silver medal she didn't want in 1994. Yuka Sato won the gold that year. Much made of the fact that Bonelli took the medal from around her neck at the presentation ceremonies.
Triple Salchow. I am so impressed with this young lady's ability to do these jumps after that incredible injury. What a comeback.
How about that? Now 23 years of age. Gosh, it seems like that's a long time since she carried the flag for her country in the opening ceremonies when the Olympics were held in Albertville. Such high hopes then, and they were dashed.
And she's actually grimacing a little bit here after that performance. I'm sure there must be some swelling still and pain in that ankle. The triple Salchow, no problem with this jump. The landing quite good. She's got a tremendously strong back. And that's what helps her. She's very acrobatic on the ice, almost like a gymnast. You can really see the strength that she has throughout her body on the jumps.
Surya sits alone in the kiss and cry area, the marks for required elements.
She's got to be pretty happy with these scores, though, considering everything that's happened. When she gets the triple flip and the triple Lutz back into the short program, these
Marks
should
for
come
presentation
up.
go down.
And that's always been the case with Surya.
So Surya Bonelli is in third place. She follows Arina Slutskaya and Yuka Sato. Katerina Witt is currently in fourth. And on the ice, making a comeback of her own following a back injury that kept her off the ice for 3 months. She's only been back for a month. Here's Nicole Bobek, former world bronze medalist.
And Vern, if this young lady can put it all together, she has so much presence on the ice. She's a delight to watch, but last year, it was one problem after the next.
Well, you and I saw her almost disintegrate almost a year ago in February in St. Petersburg, Russia. 10th at the Centennial on ice.
Here, the triple Lutz again. She's just not ready to perform that, but she's trying to build her confidence and perform some of these difficult jumps in competition. But you suffer if you don't hit them. Wonderful stretch on the arabesque position. I don't know of any lady who can get into a better position on the arabesque than Nicole Bogan. Double axel. Oh, falling short of rotation. This is unfortunate. Now 2 falls in the program. This will really hurt on the first mark for required elements.
One wonders how high her expectations were coming in here because of that 3-month hiatus because of the injury. But I'm sure she's disappointed.
Well, she's adorable, but she knows what she has to do to be a contender in the sport of ladies figure skating.
19-year-old Nicole Bobeck back on the ice. And we'll see how she was rewarded by the judges when we return.
The Japan Open on TBS has been brought to you by Children's Tylenol, the first choice of pediatricians. By Ramada, all things being equal, we're better. And by Oral-B, the brand more dentists use themselves.
Welcome back to Tokyo, the Japan Open, and the final skater in the ladies' event on the ice. Appropriately enough, the 16-year-old world champion Michelle Kwan. And here are the marks for Nicole Bobeck for required elements.
Not a surprise. We're looking at up to 0.8 of a point of deductions on the required elements.
And the marks for presentation.
Boy, it just shows the potential that she has artistically. Presentation scores much better.
Accompanied by her current coach, Carlo Fassi. Second time that she's been coached by Carlo Fassi. And there's Frank Carroll giving a last-minute piece of advice to his young charge. Doesn't have to tell her much, does he? Here's Michelle Kwan. This is the music of Jules Massenet, The Dream of Desdemona.
This is beautiful, the spiral sequence. It's nice to see this in the short program. It is a requirement. The judges just want to see the skater take their time, pace, and show beautiful line, and she has done just that. But now it's time for the difficult jumps. The first one, the triple Lutz, double toe loop. Very good for her. She had trouble in the warm-up, actually falling twice on that particular jump. Shows what a fighter she is. Double axel. Beautiful spin combination. Look how low she gets in that sit spin. toe loop. Vern, she's programmed.
Yeah, she's almost automatic. And she's a sweet 16. It's extraordinary.
Wow.
Well, she defends her United States National Championship in Nashville later this week. She defends her world title in Lausanne in Switzerland in March. And by everything that's good and holy, she will be a favorite for the gold medal in Nagano, Japan in 13 months.
With jumps like these, there shouldn't be a problem. Beautiful triple Lutz. Now she'll step right up into the double toe loop, doing what she does best, performing these jumps on command, consistent. Michelle Kwan.
Before the triple toe, I thought it sounded like, you know, it played faster than it was before. Well, let's see what happens here, ladies and gentlemen.
Now with Frank Carroll by her side, here are the marks for required elements.
Take a look at that, and they are very well deserved. She did everything she had to do.
Marks for presentation.
And look at that, the wonderful theme she had running throughout her performance. It's all there, but then again, that's Michelle Kwan.
So the standings after the ladies short program here in Tokyo, the world champion Michelle Kwan in first place, followed by the current world bronze medalist Arina Slutskaya. Yuka Sato comes back home and is in third going into the free skate. Surya Bonali is fourth, Katarina Witt is fifth, and Nicole Bobek winds up sixth. Again, the short program worth 1/3 of the final score. Still only 16 years of age, and the reigning world champion Michelle Kwan dazzles us here in Tokyo with a flawless performance in the short program. And she is with Christine Brennan.
Thanks, Vern. I'm here with Michelle Kwan. We watched in practice the Lutz. You were having some trouble with it. All of a sudden, though, you put it together in the program. Can you tell us what you did differently?
Well, in the practice, I wasn't warmed up well, and things weren't going very hot because my head was kind of just like loose and wasn't concentrating on what I had to do. And I went backstage and really focused on my Lutz takeoff, and I pulled back in the jump instead of using my shoulders.
Now, you are a very busy young lady traveling all over. Is that part of the problem, maybe, that it's just hard to kind of get yourself back into kind of a game-ready position every time when you're competing so much around the world?
Not really, because my schedule is well organized, but it's full. But I have time before nationals, and I'm home for the whole 5 weeks. And I set myself really well, and a lot of people helped me on my schedule, so I think my schedule is fine.
All right, Michelle, thanks very much. Good luck in the long program.
All right, Christine, thank you. No surprise that Michelle Kwan finds herself in first place following the ladies short program. Peter, what did surprise you tonight?
Well, there were some great moments and there were some unexpected moments, and probably the moment that stands out in my mind the most was watching Ilya Kulik skate. He put everything together in that short program. Great jumps, great choreography. It was all there, and he's a great pressure skater. He's proved that. But for Todd Eldridge, he did not skate well, and that reflects in his placement. I love seeing Takeshi Honda sneak in the door. He's in second place. He hit an amazing triple axel, triple toe loop. And as far as the ladies are concerned, to no one's surprise, Michelle Kwan once again delivers a very strong short program. She's in first place, and I loved watching Yuka Sato in front of her countrymen skate so well. As always, there's just great quality in her skating.
And we'll see how all this shakes out when we return with the interpretive programs or long programs, the free skate. That's coming up on TBS on Tuesday night. Be with us for the Japan Open free skate, 8:05 to 10:05 Eastern Time this Tuesday night. For Christine Brennan and Peter Carruthers, I'm Vern Lundquist saying goodbye from Tokyo, Japan.